There's no room for your kids, my family said every holiday for years. But there was always space for my sister's twins and their dog. I stayed quiet. But this year I bought a penthouse in New York, and they said, "We're packing our things right now." My reply: "My name is Michael. I'm 35. Older brother by 2 years, divorced, 2 kids. Jonah is 9, Ava is 6. I work as a front desk administrator at a hotel in Midtown, which means I apologize for elevators, soothe bridesmaids at 2 a.m., and remember to smile with my eyes when my face is tired. I know how to get gum out of carpet. I know the exact tone that gets upgrades without starting a fight. People hand me their problems folded into questions, and I answer them without making them feel small. That's the work. At home, I run a small, clean life. 2 bedrooms in Queens, cereal lined up like soldiers, a laundry basket that never goes empty. I share custody with my ex, Tasha. We text politely. We trade jackets when one kid forgets. We're not friends, but we're good at being parents on the same team. I'm not charming like my sister. I am, according to my mother, reliable, said with the same voice she uses for a decent vacuum cleaner. My sister's name is Lily. She has twins, Theo and Piper, 5, and a golden doodle named Mocha who sheds like a snow globe. Lily is the glitter version of me. Big laughs, bigger ideas. My mom calls her our star. My dad calls me steady, then asks me to carry the heavy things. Every holiday for years, I heard the same sentence. There's no room for your kids. It always arrived with a soft smile. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, new excuses, same message. The basement is full of donations. The guest room is set up for the twins. Mocha needs a quiet space. Meanwhile, there was always room for Lily's twins. And the dog. Mocha got a stocking one year. My kids got a porch hug and a to-go plate. I swallowed it because that's what I do. I called it logistics. I said, "We'll stop by early." I packed coloring books, kept the car warm, and took photos in the driveway because the living room was already staged. I told myself it would change next year. Next year kept not showing up. Then this spring, something different happened. I got promoted. Nothing dramatic, just a bump, a bonus, and a chance to move closer to the hotel. I found a place that didn't seem real the first time I stepped inside. A top-floor duplex in a tired building that someone finally loved back to life. People called it a penthouse. I called it sunlight. 2 balconies, a line of sky, enough room for bunk beds, and a table that doesn't wobble. I signed the papers on a Tuesday, sat on the floor with Chinese takeout, and watched the city blink like it couldn't help it. I sent one photo to the family chat. Mom wrote 20 exclamation points. Dad wrote, "Proud of you, son." Lily wrote, "OMG." Then Lily added, "We're packing our things right now." I felt the old knot twist and then, strangely, loosen. I set my chopsticks down and typed back, slowly. "This isn't a hotel. We're not doing that." It didn't start with the apartment. It started with space that somehow wasn't for us. The first year I brought Jonah as a baby, Mom said, "Just stop by for hugs. There's chaos with the twins. You know how it is." When we arrived, 2 high chairs sat at the table with place cards, Theo and Piper. I bounced Jonah on my knee in the hallway by the coat closet while Lily laughed. "We totally forgot your little guy needs to sit too." Dad said, "We'll make do." And then Mocha jumped into his lap, and nobody moved the dog. Christmas after that, Mom called a week before. "Full house, sweetheart. Come at 8 for coffee." Presents were at 10. We left at 9:30. Through the window, I could see the tree and the twins in matching pajamas. I told Jonah we'd do gifts at home. He was too little to know the difference. I knew. Reasons mutated. The basement is mid-Reno. Your kids don't sleep well in new places. The twins are trying a strict routine. The truth was simple. The available room was a moral compass that always pointed to Lily. I tried to be okay with it because the conflict would cost more than the feelings. I picked quiet because quiet is lighter to carry. I told myself it wasn't personal. My son asked, "Why can't we sleep at Grandma's?" And I said, "We'll have our own fun," and pretended he didn't hear his cousin shout from inside the house while Mocha wore a scarf. It wasn't just space. It was money, always little things. Lily's texts were cheerful invoices. "Can you grab the twins' robotics kit? I'll pay you back Friday." $119. Never came. The sitter canceled. "Can you cover the deposit for the backup?" $75. You're a lifesaver. Theo's inhaler copay is ridiculously high. $62. Love you. Mom's version was softer. "Don't worry your sister right now. We're juggling so much. You know how kids are." Dad's version was older. "Family helps." My version was my bank app at midnight and a spreadsheet named Lily IU, that I filled for 3 months and then closed because it made me angry to look at it. At work, I was the person who made sure other people felt welcome. Of course we have space. Absolutely. Let me see what I can do. I comped upgrades and made room out of thin air. I carried that skill into my family by mistake. I moved things around inside myself until everybody fit except me. It looked like generosity. It was erosion. The worst scenes were the small ones. Easter, Jonah walked in with a dyed egg in a paper cup. Mom took it, smiled, and set it on a side table behind a lamp where no one would see it. The twins made 12, she said, like that explained physics. Thanksgiving, Ava sat on the floor with her plate because there was no seat, and Dad said, well, she's young. Like gravity works different at 6. Lily taped Mocha's art, a paw print in gold, onto the fridge and laughed when I noticed. He's family, she said. I raised the topic once. Calm. Numbers. We drive an hour. We come early. We leave before dinner. It's hard. Mom sighed. Oh, Michael, you're making everything heavy. Lily said, don't guilt trip me because your kids are high energy. They're children, I said. Exactly, she said, smiling. I tried small boundaries. Please ask before you use my Amazon. Please don't add my card to Instacart. Please don't send me Venmo requests with no explanation. Lily replied with thumbs up emojis and then did all 3 in a row. Once I saw a delivery tip for an address that wasn't mine. She said, it was an accident. It kept being an accident. Why didn't I blow up? Because blowing up would be the story, and I'd be the villain. My mother has a way of holding her breath that makes you feel like you broke something expensive. I learned to make repairs before the break, so I didn't announce the penthouse. I let the contract close and the keys hit my palm and blood returned to my face. I walked through the empty rooms and pictured my kids actually staying, sleeping, eating breakfast, leaving socks in places that annoy me. I put my hand on the balcony rail and imagined telling Jonah, yes, we live here. I thought, very quietly, mine. I told them with a photo because I didn't trust my voice. The photo did what photos do, invited a story I didn't write. We're packing our things right now. Lily typed. Not a question. Not, can we stay a weekend? Not, can we come see? Just a declaration wrapped in confetti. The old me would have started moving furniture in my head, making lists, choosing sheets, rinsing a dog bowl. The new me pictured my kids' beds and saw no room for somebody else's permanent maybe. I work at a hotel. I know how quickly one night becomes, we'll find something next week. I've seen guests turn amenities into entitlement. I've watched people decide a space is theirs because they liked how it felt. I've learned the only sentence that matters when you carry keys. Here are the policies. I needed one for my life. I typed, this isn't a hotel. We're not doing that. And for the first time in my family, I sounded like me. The call came before my phone hit the table. Lily, haha, you're funny. When should we bring the playpen? Me, you shouldn't. Lily, we can use the second bedroom. The twins don't mind sharing. I'll put Mocha's bed by the balcony. He loves fresh air. Me, there is no Mocha bed here. Silence, then offense. You're serious? Yes. Michael, we're family. Exactly why I'm telling you the truth. She made a small sound that meant she was deciding which strategy to try. She picked pity. Our landlord is impossible. We just need a landing pad. A month. 2 max. I can host dinners, I said. Not households. You're punishing me for Mom's rules, she said. This is about the holidays. It's about my home. Mom jumped in on a 3-way like she was waiting behind a curtain. Michael. Hi, Mom. I'm hearing you're refusing to help. I'm stating a boundary, I said. Calm voice. Front desk voice. The one that makes drunks hand back their room keys. Boundaries are trendy, she said, like they were boots. They're also real, I said. You have space, she said, bright and reasonable. We don't. It's simple math. It's my space, I said. That's the math. We have always made room for Lily's family because they have more moving parts, Mom said. I have 2 moving parts, I said. They're called children. Your kids are loud at night, she said gently. The twins sleep like angels. Mocha barks at air, I said. We keep pretending that's adorable. Don't be cruel, she said, the word like a slap. I'm being clear. Dad clicked on late. What's all this? He asked, as if he had walked into a movie after the good part. Your son bought a penthouse and doesn't want us in it, Mom said, turning the volume up on martyrdom. It's an apartment, I said, and I don't want you living in it. Lily's voice sharpened. We helped you, Michael. How? I asked. Support, she said. We babysat twice last year, and I sent you $1,200 since January. I said before I could stop myself. Receipts on request. Mom inhaled like I'd cursed. No one is shifting blame, she said. Translation, you told the truth out loud. Lily pivoted. Fine. Not permanent. Just Thanksgiving. We'll host it at yours. It'll make up for everything. No, I said. Non-negotiable. Mom said, floating the words like balloons. It's entirely negotiable, I said. And I'm saying no. Because you want revenge for all the no-room years? I looked at the empty wall where a clock would go. I pictured Jonah and Ava, their backpacks, the way they run into a new room like it owes them nothing and everything at once. This isn't about revenge, I said, steady. It's about closure and boundaries. Dad tried the dad line. Family helps. Family also respects, I said. Lily sighed dramatically. You're going to regret this. I'm going to assemble bunk beds, I said. Michael, Mom said, voice low. If you shut us out, don't expect us to show up when you need us. I thought about the porch hugs, the to-go plates, the dog stockings. I thought about the last time show up meant more than a caption. I won't, I said. I ended the call. My hands shook the way they do after a difficult guest finally leaves the desk. My heart banged against my ribs like a bad checkout. I sat on the floor and let it happen. Then I stood, grabbed the hex key, and finished the bunk beds. I put Jonah's blue blanket on the top and Ava's unicorn pillow on the bottom. I texted a photo to Tasha. She wrote, looks like a home. I wrote back, it will be. The first week was a chorus. Guilt, threats, logistics, back to guilt. I kept the phone on silent and answered when I had the bandwidth. Mom, your grandmother asked why you're excluding family traditions. Me, we're creating our own. Mom, you sound cold. Me, I sound clear. Lily, can you at least store a few boxes until January? Me, no storage. Lily, we'll pay you. Me, no. Dad, your mother is upset. Me, I know. At work, I practice my yes elsewhere. Yes, we can get you a late checkout. Yes, I'll print your boarding pass. Yes, we'll bring extra towels. It felt good to be generous in a place built for it. Coming home to a door I locked and a rule I kept felt like rinsing my brain. The twins' lease actually ended. Lily pushed harder. Just 2 nights while movers figure out the truck. I offered a hotel discount code. She said I was being corporate. She showed up with a Peloton and 6 Rubbermaid bins regardless. The doorman called. Sir, a delivery is insisting it belongs to you. I went downstairs. There was Lily in athleisure, the twins climbing a stack of boxes, Mocha wearing a bandana that said City Boy. Don't be dramatic, she said. It's temporary. You ignored me, I said. Because you're being unreasonable. I turned to the doorman. It's not mine. You're really going to do this? She asked, eyes wet. I already did, I said. People watched. That's the worst part of boundaries, the audience. But no one booed. A man held the door and pretended to check his mail for a long time. The twins looked confused. Mocha tried to lick a sign about no animals without registration. It was almost funny. Lily called Mom on speaker. He's refusing to help. Mom said, Michael, compromise. I said, 1 suitcase each for 2 nights. That's the compromise. You brought a gym. Lily's friend with a van came. They left angry. Anger is easier to carry than boxes. The first weekend with Jonah and Ava in the new place. We did everything wrong, and it was perfect. We ate pizza on the floor. We let a cartoon play 5 episodes in a row. We made hot cocoa too sweet. I showed them the view. Jonah pressed his forehead to the glass and said, Is this all ours? I said, It is when you're here. Ava said, Even the sky? I said, Borrowed, like a library book. She accepted that. Sunday night, they slept like butter. I sat on the balcony and let the noise of the city decide what it wanted to be. Someone played a trumpet badly. It sounded like trying. Then the holiday planning messages started. Mom, so, Thanksgiving at your place. I'll bring the turkey. Lily will handle sides. You just make space. I typed. No, she typed. We already told the twins. I typed. Tell them plans changed. Lily, we're doing it there. You'll thank us later. I wrote. If you show up with food or a dog, you won't get upstairs. She wrote, You're not serious. I sent a screenshot of the building's pet policy. She wrote, Wow. On Thanksgiving morning, the doorman rang. Mr. Rivera, there's a family here with a dog and many pies. I went down. Mom held a casserole like a peace treaty. Lily carried a roast pan like a threat. The twins bounced. Mocha wore boots. Surprise, Mom said. No, I said. We're not doing this. Don't make a scene. I'm preventing one. The kids will be crushed, she said, nodding toward the twins behind her like props. I crouched to their eye level. Hey guys. Saturday, 11 a.m., the big park with the dinosaur bones. Hot chocolate. Deal. They nodded because kids are resilient when adults stop using them as levers. I stood, looked at Mom, at Lily, at the dog's boots. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you Saturday. We ate chicken upstairs because turkey is too much bird for three. Jonah said the bubbles in the seltzer made it feel like a party. Ava spilled cranberry sauce and cried because she thought she ruined the carpet. I said, it's a rug. We clean rugs. We cleaned the rug. We watched the parade replay on my phone and made a game out of judging floats like we were experts. It was stupid and perfect. Mom's captions that day were all about gratitude. No cake of conflict. No video of the lobby. That's how family PR works. It used to bother me. It rolled off me this time because my kids were licking whipped cream off spoons and my sink had one pan in it instead of 20 dishes I'd wash, while everyone said thank you around me. December brought a wave of asks, dressed as traditions. Cookie exchange at yours? No twin caroling party on your balcony. Absolutely not. Mocha hates fireworks. Can we use your place on New Year's so he feels calm? The dog can meditate, I wrote in my head, and then typed simply, no. The pushback came in standard issue phrases. You've changed. Money went to your head. We missed the old Michael. The old Michael was always available. The old Michael said yes, and then found a way to survive it. The new Michael said no, and then sat in the discomfort until it turned into air. Rachel noticed. She brought the kids over one Sunday to drop them with backpacks. She looked around and whistled. Nice space. Thank you, I said. She said, you look quiet in your face. I laughed. I finally installed a lock on my life. She high-fived me like we were still good at that. Work bled into home less. I stopped mentally checking people in when my phone buzzed. I drew a stupid sign for the kitchen, house rules, in my block handwriting and taped it inside a cabinet where only we'd see it. Bedtime is a promise we keep. We eat at the table or the balcony, not in a rush. We don't apologize for taking up space here. We don't host surprises. The kids added one in marker. No dogs. I didn't argue. A week before Christmas, Mom tried softness. We got the twins a train set, she said on the phone. They want to share it with Jonah. We'll come to you Saturday, I said. We'll bring cocoa. We'll stop by your place after, she said. We won't stay. We'll see, I said. We didn't. On Christmas morning, we did something wild. Nothing. The kids and I stayed in pajamas. Pancakes, oranges, wrapping paper that stuck to our socks. We FaceTimed Grandma at noon. She panned her camera across a busy living room where Lily's kids built a train across 3 rugs and Mocha wore antlers. Mom said, we wish you were here. I said, we're good. Jonah leaned into the camera. We got a view, he announced. Ava yelled, we got a balcony. Then they ran away mid-call because that's what free kids do. Mom looked at me like I'd picked the wrong team. I looked back like I finally found mine. Invoices tried to boomerang. Lily sent a note about shared holiday expenses. I replied, we didn't share a holiday. She sent a photo of a receipt anyway. I sent back a thumbs up emoji and nothing else. If silence could be a locked door, it was. In January, the dust settled in boring ways. Lily found a bigger rental. Mom started a new hobby group and posted crafting photos like a ceasefire. Dad texted me about the Knicks. The twins asked if Jonah could come to their birthday at a trampoline park. We said yes. They asked if Mocha could visit my place just to see the view. We said no. They survived. The nicest thing I didn't expect. My home became easy. It stopped being a symbol and turned into a place where someone leaves a sock under the couch, and you find it 2 days later and laugh instead of sigh. Jonah built a Lego city on the coffee table, and Ava named it Yes Town. I taped their drawings to the fridge and stopped straightening them every time I walked by. The balcony grew a basil plant that lived. I stood out there one night and listened to a siren rise and fall and felt, honestly, grateful I could choose when to open my door. Here's what I learned, written plain so I don't forget. A boundary is not revenge. It's a home policy. I work in hospitality. Hospitality without policy turns into harm. Welcome is not the same as take whatever you want. The front desk taught me that. My family taught me the rest. I don't need them to agree to make my no valid. I don't need to audit the past to justify the present. The past is obvious if you've lived it. No room for your kids was a door in my face dressed as a paper wreath. I kept knocking anyway. This year I stopped and used my own key somewhere else. I sent one final email in January. Not a manifesto, just a simple memo titled Going Forward. My apartment is not storage, a crash pad, or a pet sitting service. Visits are planned, short, and on my calendar. Surprises turn into no. No one uses my address or my accounts without written permission. If an event excludes my kids, I won't attend. No drama. That's the boundary. Love is not measured in square feet or dog boots. Mom wrote back, understood, with a period like a sigh. Lily replied, "You're so corporate." And then a week later asked if I could look over her new lease. I did. I highlighted 3 lines and wrote, "Don't sign until they fix these." She sent back 3 heart emojis and "thank you." I am not a villain in her story. I am a person with a spine. Those can coexist. Last weekend, we all met at the park. The twins and my 2 ran until gravity negotiated with them. Mocha wore a sweater, which I ignored. Mom handed me a thermos like a peace offering. "You look good," she said. "You sound rested." I said, "I am." We watched the kids invent a game with rules that changed every minute and nobody cried. That felt like a forecast. I walked home with Jonah on one side and Ava skipping on the other. We stopped for bagels. We climbed the stairs. I opened our door. The air inside smelled like cinnamon and warm dust. Jonah yelled, "Yes, town," and dumped Legos back into their world. Ava dragged her stool to the kitchen to help me stir nothing in particular. My phone buzzed with the family chat. Lily posted a photo of her new place and wrote, "Finally space." Mom wrote, "See? It all works out." Dad wrote, "Game on at 7." I put the phone face down and turned on the kettle. If you want to know what I wrote back to the first message after I sent that skyline photo, the one where Lily said, "We're packing our things right now." It was 5 words I mean more every day. This isn't a hotel. No, I didn't slam a door. I closed it gently and locked it because that's what you do when you finally live inside the life you pay for and care for and cook in. I'm still reliable. I'm still kind. I'm just not a lobby anymore. And there is room here, so much room, for my kids. For our noise. For our small, ordinary holidays where nobody asks us to be quiet in our own house. For a basil plant that refuses to die. For me, on a balcony, breathing like a man who finally decided the welcome sign on his front door belongs to him.